Okay, so I'm Mrs. Zelensky. If you normally have Miss Merkus, then this might be the first time you meeting me. I love your teacher. Miss Merkus is one of my best friends, at least I think so. This is so different. I am literally talking to an empty classroom, but whenever Marcus and I were talking, we felt this would be the best way to keep up with the content so that you can be as successful as possible in this college level class. We wanted to take some time to highlight a few things. You did a scavenger hunt, hopefully with your syllabus, or you're going to be doing that as part of your homework. So some things to pay attention to when you look at the syllabus. So I'm going to be starting off by looking at, you got this handout yesterday. It's the course syllabus. It's 3 pages, probably one of the longer ones you've ever had in high school class. So I have that out and ready. But if we just think in general, what are things that you could do to be ready for this class? First thing is right when you come in to the classroom, wipe down your tables, everything's been sprayed off for you, and log into Google Classroom, read that learning target and agenda for the day. That we're not going to be writing it on the board. Our goal is for you to get very comfortable with looking at everything on Google Classroom in case we have to go virtual. Be 100% in. So whether you're in the classroom or you're at home learning, come up with a system. Like for me, I tried teaching from my basement when we first went virtual, and I got depressed. I hated it. So I had to find a happier, sunnier place that would help me be able to just enjoy where I was at. So figure out what's going to work for you. That learning at home, maybe you do have a friend group that you're already exposed to. If you've got a really good learning buddy, then maybe you guys can set up, a time to go to Starbucks and learn there. Get outside, go to a park, but be very invested whether you're in the classroom or at home. Take advantage of our flex times that we're going to have Wednesday afternoon. If you know you need help, sign up. And then this is kind of what I just said. Get connected with people that are in your cohort. So cohort A will all be assigned the same thing, whether you're Marcus's class or Zelensky's class. We work very hard to make sure you guys are getting the same assignment. Cohort B, you're going to have a different assignment for the day. Find somebody in cohort A, whether it's a Marcus kid or a Zelensky kid, and start learning together. Okay, I think you'll be very, very successful if you do that. Take time to share contact information if you don't already have it. Kids that we've had in the past, the most successful students were the ones that had study groups, and they helped each other out as they were learning. That's something you could really take advantage of. And then ask for help. Reach out to me, reach out to Marcus. If you're a Marcus kid, you can reach out to me. If you're a Zelensky kid, Murky, I know would say, reach out to her. But find us, get a hold of us, and let us be able to help you. Okay, so syllabus. I gotta figure out how my projector's like too high. I'm sorry, I eventually have to figure this out, but we're looking at the syllabus, this white handout. Things to catch. When are we available? So it's gonna be a little more limited this year. We're always gonna be available Wednesday afternoons for flex, but then the other time is going to be just by appointment. Okay, so you're gonna have to do an email. We're eventually gonna get that Google chat thing going. Maybe you can schedule something that way, but it's gonna be a little different this year. Time, how much time are you gonna be spending? This is probably pretty true. You will need to spend, on average, 4 to 6 hours outside of class each week. You're watching videos, doing homework, looking at labs, studying for exams. I mean, it truly is a college, it's chemistry, difficult enough, but it's college level. So just be prepared for that. Calculators, especially this year, you need to have your own scientific. We're not going to be sharing those. We're trying to really limit those common touched type of items. Your grade. So in this course, your summatives are worth 70%, formatives are worth 10, and then lab assessments are 20. Really pay attention to this side, and this is all taken from your syllabus, just and we kind of pulled it out and highlighted it. But the grading in WTC compared to DePere is different. You're going to end up with 2 grades from this course. The DePere grade is going to be on your high school transcript. It's going to be what you're used to as far as how grading works, where semester 1, and pay attention to what it says there. Coursework, semester 1, 80%, semester 1 final, 20%. You're probably used to that in your other courses. Where second semester at DePere, same idea, 80% semester 2, 20% for the final. Here's where it's different. You're going to get a second, this is a transcripted class, so you'll truly get college credit for this class Will your college that you go to accept it? It depends on the class. We had a student reach out to us just this past summer saying, I'm so glad I took your class. He went to one of the UW schools and they accepted this class for his chemistry course that was needed, and he doesn't have to take chemistry in college. So you will get a transcripted class for this, a transcripted grade. How does that NWTC grade work? Pay attention to what this is saying. It's 80% of your semester 1 and 2 coursework. And then the semester 2 is a cumulative final for the entire year. So not just semester 2 cumulative, the entire year. So notice, we're not making you take 2 finals in the spring. It's just this final is a cumulative from unit 1 all the way down to unit 11 that we do. All right, so different. If you have questions about this, ask us the next time you see us. Other things, summatives. The biggest thing here is to realize they are not retakeable. You do not get to retake your summative. The grade that you have is what you're going to earn, so you want to really study the first time that you're offered that test. Formatives, these are like, and I talked a little bit about this with my kids, but within each learning target, the big pictures, we do a quiz pretty much after each big picture, and you'll see those. Other formatives will be discussion grades, and then other assignments, and then labs, we do lab quizzes, we might do lab worksheets, lab performance assessments, but that's going to be another component of your grade. You get practices, so we give you a packet like you saw yesterday. You got a packet with each big picture, and that's your practice packet, and we eventually give you the answer keys to those for you to check those answers and see how you do. Late work, just don't do it, okay? You need to plan to turn all your work in by the due date. If you have some extenuating circumstance, reach out to us. But in general, all of your work is due on the due date. We don't want to deal with late work. Okay, if you need to reach out to us, that's fine. But expect to receive a 0 if you don't have a good reason for why you have late work. Making up labs. So it's not going to be like, oh, I missed a lab in physical science, and I say no big deal. We give you the data and you move on. These labs you have to do. There's 7 of them that are required. We do a lot more than 7 labs, but TC requires 7 specific ones that you have to do. You're going to have to make up if you miss. We've never had a student get a low score in the course because they didn't make up the lab. We've always figured out how to get a kid that maybe was absent into the lab to actually do one of these 7 required labs, okay? All right, so we're just gonna jump right into taking notes. What I want you to find, and you're gonna see mine's already filled in, I'm gonna just manually zoom. So you're looking for your guided note packet. I have no idea if this zoomed completely well. Okay, so guided note packet, that's what we're looking for. And we're going to be filling out pages 1 and 2, and then there's a short video that we're going to end up watching as well. So whenever we think chemistry, before we can even dive into anything with chemistry, I want us to just have an understanding of what chemistry is. So, and please remember, at any point during this, if Z's talking too fast, you're in control. Hit the pause button, write it down. This PowerPoint is also in our Unit 1 references. So you could already have it filled in, and then whenever it's time for you to listen to this, you can just jot down the extra notes. So you're not always thinking I have to fill things in. So what is chemistry? Chemistry is the study of matter and the changes that it undergoes. So then the next logical question would be, well, then what is matter? And matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. So when we think chalk, air, a book, water, all those things are matter. Energy is not matter. Light is not matter. So it has to have mass, it has to take up space, okay, whenever we're trying to decide what is matter. Why would we even have an interest in studying chemistry? Okay, I know you're probably thinking, well, I had to take it, my parents really made me take it, or they're saying I need this if I want to go on to college, it looks really good in my transcript. All those things are so true. It's the most important class you're going to see at DePere High School. But there's actually some really other good reasons why you want to be in this class. It helps to explain how or why things happen as they do. This winter, you're going to see salt thrown on the road. Why does salt melt that ice? What is going on at that molecular level that lets that happen? I don't know if we can get through looking at some type of label on a piece of food, and we see chemicals that are there. So it helps us understand products as consumers and be able to read labels. So what do they stick in the potato chips? Because it doesn't say in ingredients, potato and oil. There's a whole bunch of other things in there. What are those things doing? What's happening at a biochemical level? To help understand the physiological processes. Why is it that when I have a headache and I take ibuprofen, somehow my headache gets better? What's happening at that biochemical level to have that help relieve my headache? It helps us understand the news, probably now more than ever. You know, you guys yesterday in Marcus's room or in mine, you were spraying down the tables. Maybe some of you read the chemical that was there. What is happening chemically that chemical can actually fight against bacteria and other germs that might be on surfaces? Helps us to better understand chemistry in the news, and I'm hoping in these last 6 months you've become a smarter reader. Just because you see it in one post, just because you see it on one website does not mean that it's factual. Check your facts, become a very smart reader as you look at the news. It's just going to help you prepare for future courses and careers. So luckily we get students that come back, visit us from college, and they talk about this course and how much it helped them if they went on to just like another first year general chem course, or they used it as a replacement for another chemistry course that it actually replaced what they needed to do. And it helps you understand chemistry in everyday life. Burning gas for heat, why does that work? Why can I turn on the methane gas, light it, and next thing I know my home goes from 50 degrees up to 75 degrees. Okay, the next section in your notes, and I'm at the bottom of page 1, is lab demos. We're going to actually save this for the next day that you are in class. What we're going to do right now, and I'm just going to do it all through this, and you're going to see me go off the screen, is we're going to watch the safety video. And we just will end up having it all in one link.
Know me from biology or chemistry classes, elementary school volleyball, or YouTube videos that have gotten over 100 hits. Life is dangerous, but your science class doesn't have to be. Come on, I'll show you the top 10 rules for science lab safety. If a lab calls for goggles, they must be worn during the entire period. Your teacher will most likely have a class set. Keep them organized. You may choose to purchase your own goggles. However, they must be standard ANSI Z87.7. These goggles are designed for complete coverage around the eyes. These goggles are also designed to go over the top of glasses. If you accidentally pour excess chemicals, do not pour them back into their stock containers, the containers that store the chemicals. They may contaminate the original and create a reaction. Chemicals need to be disposed of in a proper way. How to dispose of the chemicals will be instructed on the day of the lab. Usually, there will be a waste container. Sometimes you'll have to move lab equipment around the room. Carry all lab equipment and chemicals with 2 hands. Be careful with the equipment and treat them with respect, please. Do not touch anything unless your teacher gives you permission. There are things in the classroom that belong to other people and are set up for other classes. chemicals into your eyes, you will need to wash them out for 15 minutes at the eye wash station or at a sink. Please be sure to rinse with your eyes open. Locate your classroom sink or eye wash station now. If you do get chemicals on your arms or skin, you will need to wash the burned area for 15 minutes. Don't worry about making a mess. Please saturate the area with water. Please locate your safety shower now. Never smell a chemical directly. Instead, waft or fan the chemical's fumes to note the odor. Try this at home. Let the teacher know immediately if there's broken glass. The teacher will clean it up for you. This doesn't mean, however, that you get to go around breaking glass. Do your best to avoid such accidents. If there's a fire, the fire extinguisher should be used first. Can you locate it? Walk, don't run. Remove the safety clip. Point the nozzle at the fire and squeeze the handle. Please empty the extinguisher.
So, what is a fire anyways?
The answer lies in the fire triangle. 3 things must be present at the same time in order to produce a fire: enough oxygen, enough heat, and some sort of fuel. If you take any of these 3 things away, you will no longer have a fire and the fire will be extinguished. Essentially, fire extinguishers put out fire by taking away one or more elements of the fire triangle. Do not eat anything in the lab. There are some chemicals that we will handle in this class that can cause great injury and even death. Even if there is an edible food in a lab, like a candy, it may have been stored next to something in the science storeroom that could be harmful. The only time you may eat something is if I tell you it's alright to do so. Hand washing should be the last step of every lab. Frequent hand washing is one of the best ways to avoid getting sick and spreading illness. Wet your hands with running water, apply liquid soap, and lather well. Rub your hands vigorously for at least 20 seconds, and remember to scrub all surfaces. Rinse and dry.
The touch of your hand makes my pulse react.
Hi. As you can see, the world can be a dangerous place, but we can eliminate some of these risks by following the top 10 rules of safety. Enjoy your year, and see you in the lab.
Okay, hold on. All right, so hopefully that or video helped you understand a little bit about lab safety. You're going to be doing a lab safety contract quiz, and that'll just reinforce some of the rules. It was with one of the handouts. I think it was a white sheet of paper handout with the lab safety rules. You're going to want to have that in front of you as you do the quiz. We're gonna do one more page of notes, so if you go back to, you're still in your note packet, and if you notice at the top of page 2 here, the very first thing it says is lab safety videos. And whenever we show a video, that gives you a chance to just jot down a few things as a reminder of what it is that you saw whenever you looked at that video. But when you come into class next, we're gonna be looking at what's called safety data sheets. And a safety data sheet used to be called material safety data sheets, so MSDS sheets. Now they're just SDS sheets. It's a detailed informational document prepared by the manufacturer of that chemical, of that hazardous chemical. So what does it contain? It will describe the physical and chemical properties of that product. It will tell you things like its toxicity, flashpoint has to do with burning, procedures, so this will be important for especially Ms. Merkus and I, whenever we look at chemicals, how do we need to clean them up if there's a spill or if there's a leak. Some chemicals in our storage room can't be stored next to other chemicals, so it talks to us about how to store that. And it's important for you as far as the health safety and what do we do to, if there's an exposure, what do we need to do to help control that, okay? So this is just one example. There's many formats of SDSs, but this is one example of that. Up here, we're looking at this chemical called Silver Shine Pre-Soak. So we have the name. This is how the manufacturer labels that name. You see different pictograms that help you see some of the dangers of it. So there could be exclamation points, there could be fire hazards, there could be the poison with the bones, with the skull, if you know that one. But it would give you a clue as to what's going on. And then you have some types of signal words that might say, in this case it says small, but you can look on your own handout, skin irritation. It could be an inhalation irritation, whatever it might be, but it would tell us about those things. It would tell us how to store it. It would tell us its chemical composition, all of those different things. So whenever we see you next, we're gonna do an activity looking at SDSs, just trying to get a feel. We're gonna pull it from a few different chemicals, have you walk around the room and get a feel for what that particular SDS is showing for that chemical. And then we'll look at it together, okay? So that's it for today. You guys did a great job. Can't wait to see you again in person, and you take care.